What's up, guys? Holding Hands with you here, bringing you that time I got becoming as a slime. Anime review, episode 7, called The Conqueror of the Flames. Basically, this episode it starts off with Shizu's and this flashback of when, she was summoned and she was given Ifri, and she's looking at the wizard in front of her, and this green leaf falls down, and then this leaf turns into this humanoid bird with a spear, and it was like, I'm going to kill you, Wizard Leon, and put your mind at ease. So I guess Leon is that guy with the long blonde hair, and he made Ifri attack. And remember, Ifri's inside Ishizu, that's his vessel, that's where he hides. So she turns around with her eyes pitch red and these flame type wings, and she incinerates him in one shot. Then it continues again, where we get this, I guess it's a 10-year time skip gap where she's older now. You can tell because her body matured, and she's outside in the outskirts of the the tower or castle, just to say. And this chick had found a baby fox, and she's taking care of it. And then she's told her, the master won't let you keep it. And she's like, if I say this is my familiar, I might be able to keep it. I want to see how calm and peaceful it is. And the master, of course, they speaking of is Leon, the wizard that summoned, that we think summoned, Ishizu. Or Shizu, I should say. So she went and asked the master. Unfortunately, this baby fox started growling and barking at him, to the point where it annoyed him, and he made Ifri attack her and the puppy. And you have to remember, Ifri's vessel is Shizu. So her eyes become red again, and she gets in front of her friend, and she looks at her and the baby fox, and she incinerates both of them. Then she goes back to normal, and she realizes where her friend was standing with the pup. There's smoke, ash there, and she was just being controlled, and she thought to herself, what have I done? And she breaks down and she cries, of course. Then she wakes up and we realize this is all just a flashback in her dream that she's having in a sequence. And she looks around to see if anyone's around her. And that adventure chick with the blonde hair is next to her, but she's knocked out. So she was happy that she didn't get to see her, in that dream state. Not dream state, but she didn't get to see her shocked. But then afterwards, her stomach and her back started to hurt. And she's in the fetal position, on her knees. She's on her knees, pinning down to the bed. And she's scratching on it because of the pain. And you see these fire wings from her back. Almost kind of reminds me of Kanaki's, from Tokyo Ghoul, his Kane. It kind of reminds me of that, but instead of a centipede, it's wings, of firebird wings, but the pain goes away and she goes back to normal after that quick second, and she looks at her friend to make sure she didn't wake up, and then she didn't see that, but she was still just nodded out. Then after this, she gets stressed and she goes to the highest hill of that town, and she just starts looking at the town, and Remora and Rango comes up to her and is like, do you like the town? And she says yes, and they're both very happy. And then Remora had to be sly with it, and he was like, you can stay if you want, but unfortunately she said no, and her excuse was that if she be here she might just bring or cause more trouble. And Remora got confused, but he didn't really pray much into the situation. Then from there it skips on to her going back to her basically she hugged Rango, and she's like, I can't wait to see you again. She's about to leave soon. So she goes back to her tent to see what the adventure girl is doing. And the adventure girl is combing her hair. And the adventure girl asks her, hey, do you want to come with us and join us? And she's like, as much as I like being in your group and things I've learned, unfortunately I have to say no, since this is going to be my last adventurer, my last journey. And she says, what do you mean by your last journey? And Shizu replies to her, well, I'm a lot older than I look. So, and then she put her mask on, and The girl got like kind of freaked out, but then she just laughed it off. She's like, "Oh, you're joking, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. Let's go." And they leave to meet up with the rest of the other two adventurers who's outside with the Goblin King and his son and Remora and Rango to escort them out peacefully. But Ifri takes over her body. And this time he doesn't just take over her body and makes her attack in flames. Like this time he actually summoned himself from her body. He basically used her body as a catalyst and summoned his real body. So you actually saw Ifri there. And the sky turned pitch black, and he got these 3 flame dragons surrounding him that he's using to attack and burn the village. But Remora, luckily beforehand, he had the goblin, leader and his son evacuate everybody, the wolves and goblins, and the dwarves. But sadly, the new built town is being wrecked by these creatures and Ifri. So Remora gets mad, and we get this combat between the 3 adventurers who trying to fight, back to get back at Shizu, and Remora and his wolf, Ringo, who's there. So it's 5 versus 4. And Remora should have used Water Blade, but before the blade gets near them, it evaporates because of how hot these guys' bodies are, producing. But he realizes that the adventure chick has a spell called Icicle Lance, and that's actually working on them, and it's actually hurting them. So he gets the idea, okay, let me get this. So he screams at her, "Shoot me!" And she's like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." So she's like, "Okay, don't say that I didn't warn you." And she shot him with one. Of course, he used his unique skill, Predator. He ate it. Now, boom, he could use it. But he used more of an advanced version. He used one that was called Icicle Shotgun. And basically what it is, instead of making one Icicle Lance, he make a whole bunch of oversized ice particles that are, icicles, and he fires them at you. And he took out 2 out of the 3 he took out on his own. The third one decided to run up on the group of the adventurers and blow himself up, which badly hurt all 3. So he told Rango to get them out. And since it's now just him and Ifri, he told Ifri, "Now that nobody's around, I can take you seriously." Which this is when things get very interesting. Because Ifri surrounds him with these clones of himself, and he has to use Icicle Shotgun again. And he knocks out most of them except the original Ifri. Problem is, that original Ifri where his clones were getting shot at and he was dodging that attack had made a fire seal under Remora, catching him in a fire twister that was supposed to melt him to death and burn him. But Remora didn't know that his thermal skill that he had doesn't just give him hot and cold resistance, it actually gives him immunity to it. So he's in the flame freaking out. "Oh, I'm gonna die, my life is short, I lived a short life." He basically life with an S because he's a slime, and that's what he said. And he's like, "I'm gonna die," and then he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm not taking no damage. What's going on?" Then that's when his AI tells him, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah. This thanks to your thermal heat, you're immune to fire." It's like, "Oh really?" So he's having this inner dialogue and conversation with himself, and at this funny moment, if he decides, okay, he's gonna burn to death, whatever, he just has to turn around and leave. Instant he turned around, Remora jumped him with the spiderweb threads and tied him up real good, and broke through the flames. And Ifri's like, okay, whatever. He should break out the flames, but he can't. He can't break out of them, and he can't burn them. So Remora's like, "Ha! I underestimated you, but you underestimated me more." Ifri tried to stop him from talking, so he flamethrowers him in the face, but again, he's immune to fire, so it doesn't work. Then he uses unique skill on Ifri. He eats him. And while he eats him, Ifri spits out Ishizu. And now Ifri's inside his stomach, and Ifri's trying to use all these fire attacks to get out. And you hear a familiar voice in the distance saying, "Hey, quit it. That's not gonna happen. I'm a close friend of Remora's, and you're not strong enough to get out of here." And then we see Valdomar, the Storm Dragon. And that's when the episode ends, and basically, as you see in the thumbnail, we might see Ifri versus Valdomar, or Verador or Storm Dragon, or Tempest, I should say. But I'm just gonna call him Tempest Dragon or Verador. But Redora, we're gonna have him fight Ifri. Hopefully they don't cut this off and we get to see this whole fight. I really want to see this badly, but only time will tell. And forgive me for any background noise. My phone's been like ringing all day and I forgot to shut it off, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I can't wait for next week's episode. 10 out of 10 this week. Things have really been lit, pun intended again. And I can't wait to see who wins between Ifri and the dragon. And it's nice to know that, Remora, that I don't believe he's top tier yet, but I think he's going to be up there eventually. I think he's like the cute version of Ainz. That's how I see it. But I really love this series because it's doing what other RPG and Senkai series does, but in a unique, cute way. And I like it a lot. Out of all the animes that came out this year for 2018, this is one of my top 3 that I'm most excited about. So, but tell me what you thought. Please no spoilers for those that read the manga and read the night novel. And tell me your thoughts, comments, and opinions below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.